right, what is up? And welcome to another episode of the Comedy's Dead podcast. Um, on this cheerful Wednesday evening, I'm your host, Josh Goldstein. Um, you know, uh, I know everybody's going to want me to talk about the big news this week, the big thing happening, the holy shit, what's going to happen now? Where's our future going? That is right. The New York Yankees lost the World Series to the Los Angeles Dodgers on a monumental collapse that I don't know if I don't up 5-1. All you had to do is just win that game and go back to LA. And I think if they will go back to LA, they win the series, but nope. The New York Yankees committed 3 of the easiest, dumbest, most avoidable errors that ever could have been made in one inning to lose at home when it was in their hands. All they had to do was just not fuck it up and stop playing afraid to lose, but actually play to win and be aggressive. But they couldn't do that. You know, isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing that it's like I don't know if there's an analog for something happening in the world that could be easily compared to that. I don't know if there is a I got to be honest, guys. The political candidate from California lost and the team won from California, and the political candidate from New York City won and the team lost in New York. And if you were like, Josh, as a Red Sox fan, would you trade a New York Yankees world title to keep Donald Trump out of office? Fuck no. What are you, insane? Fuck the Yankees, dude. Yeah. Fucking Goomba pieces of shit. I hope they all suffer. I hope every Yankees fan suffers greatly. Okay? This country might be divided by party lines, but we should all be united in hating the United States Yankees. All right? That's what's going to heal us. That's what's going to bring us together. It's not, it's not Trump. It's not Kamala. It's not anybody. It's not Bernie Sanders. It's not AOC. It's not fucking Tom Cotton. Okay? What is really going to heal this country is everybody uniting around a common enemy, and that is the New York Yankees. All right? That's what we really need to focus on, is making sure that they never win another World Series title. Okay? That's our only hope. It's not bread and circuses to just focus entirely on trivial things that don't actually affect people's lives. No, it's that's our path. That's our hope. Okay? I don't know. All right. Welcome to another episode. I don't know what else, I don't want to get too political here. All right? There's nothing I can say that'll really change your mind or affect your life. Okay? It's hard to figure out, the angle of how I want to approach this episode. Because, here's the thing. I know I say a bunch of super lefty anti-Trump things all the time, okay? But I'm just as anti-liberal. I just think harm reduction, okay? I just think that maybe, just maybe, okay, if your messaging to the American people and people on the fence and people who are undecided is, we're not going to target the largest voting populace of people on the fence, which is the working class, and going, hey, here's how my policies will help you, and here's how their policies will negatively affect you, right? And targeting your messaging around how you can help people's lives. No, if you just call anybody who might slightly disagree with you racist and sexist, that's how you win them over. That's how you get people on your side, is you insult them. That's really the way to heal this country, is to create more division while saying that you're the people of unity. That's how you do it. You just prop up a person that nobody on the planet voted for, that was 5th in the primaries in 2020. You give them the nomination without having an actual primary and actually giving anybody else a chance, because you trotted out a dead corpse for the last 3 years, and we're like, nah, he's good. Everybody knows, yeah, he's good, dude. He's fine. Shut the fuck up. If you disagree, you hate freedom. And then when that problem gets too big to hide, you just go, hey, everybody shut the fuck up. This is our candidate. I know nobody likes her, but if you don't vote for, you just hate black women. Um, you know, who gives a shit about how working class voters feel? We need to get the wealthy elite neocons on our side. Okay, that's how we're gonna heal this country, is just to consolidate a lot of the worst pieces of shit. And don't get me wrong, more rich people and wealthy elites are voting for Trump than voted for him than her. But that's not the point. Okay, you just combined everybody on both sides. Just goes, we need to dismantle this system where there's only two options and none of them actually speak for the American people. You just took the worst of the worst of the people in the middle of that problem, and then you consolidated them together and go, why didn't this connect with voters? It's like, well, because, you didn't give them any policies. Or you might have had policies. We don't know because we never heard any of your policies. You just go, Trump bad. He's a racist and a rapist. And if you vote for him, you like racism and rape. And then we're shocked that the American public didn't relate to that message. Ugh, I swear, I'm going to get off of this. I'm not going to talk about this all episode. It's just, it's like, on the one hand, I think that 40 years of a Supreme Court that is one-sided, no matter which side it is going to be bad for multiple generations of Americans, okay? No matter what, if the country is ruled by one-party rule in terms of the courts or Congress or president for that long of amount of time, people are going to get fucked, okay? But on the other hand, God, do I love seeing these people eat their own shit. It's just, they've made the same mistakes 3 elections in a row. They barely snuck by because Georgia flipped to Biden in the last one. But besides that, they've always been fucked, okay? These people have no fucking idea how the world works and how actual Americans fucking think, okay? They just sit, it's like most people, right? People in rural areas, people in wealthy liberal areas, all they do is they sit around with their friends who already agree with them, and they just live in this echo chamber where nobody has a perspective different than them, and they have no fucking idea how anybody outside their own little bubble works. And I say that as someone who grew up here and was super, I'm deep down, I'm a big fucking lefty, right? But I went to school in Louisiana, okay? I've talked to every type of person who could have disagreed with me in the world, okay? I've made, acquaintances with actual neo-Nazis, okay? I have had friends who are the poorest of the poor, black people who are descendants of slaves. I have road tripped around the country. I've been pretty much everywhere. I've driven from Massachusetts down through rural Mississippi, and I've seen that level of poverty and that lack of hope and that lack of chance to get out of your situation. I've driven through Wyoming and Idaho, and I've driven through rural Oregon and California, and I've been to Fishers, Indiana, and stayed in a Motel 6 and met those types of people. And I've driven to Chicago, and I've seen pretty much fucking everything. Okay, I have friends who used to be gang members and like actual criminals. Okay, I have met so many people, and I know deep down that the average person, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, just operates really out of fear of the other, right? You don't know anybody else's perspective. You just live in your own little bubble, and so anybody who threatens that view that you have of this perfect world, or what a perfect world is and how to do it, you see them as a threat to yourself, right? So you just demonize them, and that's how you divide each other, right? I mean, look at how social media algorithms works, right? Dude, YouTube was trying to turn me into a neo-Nazi a couple months ago. I was just watching videos on World War II, and then I saw a video on, like, this is what the German generals were thinking during this thing, and it was completely unbiased, so I was watching those types of things. And then it just started sending me German perspective videos until I started realizing that some of the channels they were sending me were actual neo-Nazis. And it's like, oh, this is how it happens, Curiosity kills the cat if the algorithm is feeding the cat to the coyote, It's like, go out and talk to people. Most people aren't that bad. We have so much more in common than we have apart, okay? But nobody knows that. Nobody knows that realistically, it's a real problem with the Democratic Party is, Trump is a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? He's not actually going to help you, okay? He's going to help him and his friends. He's going to make sure that they're able to raise their own wages while they keep yours going nowhere, right? And you can go, well, the stock market's fucking crushing it right now. Meanwhile, all of us are fucked because they're just gonna deregulate all the markets and make it so, fucking, they can give you cheaper, shittier products and price out all the small businesses and keep it for themselves. And then one side wants to regulate everything, which just makes it more expensive for the small businesses and kills them in a different way. But either way, unless you're actually breaking up the trust in the monopolies like Teddy Roosevelt was doing, nothing's ever going to change, okay? If you actually want to change things, vote with your dollar, okay? Buy local. Stop giving your money to fucking Amazon. Stop fucking getting a bunch of bullshit shipped. Stop going to grocery stores and getting your fucking poisoned food from Monsanto. Go to a farm stand and buy it fresh and local, all right? That's all you got to do. Buy clothes, buy local handmade clothes, have very few clothes instead of a fucking bunch of Shein products, okay? Have it's like, well, that's more expensive. Okay, then have less possessions, Buy fewer clothes that are made properly and know that your money's going to your actual community instead of funding these corporate oligarchs who have owned this country since Nixon legalized lobbying on Wall Street and sold this fucking country out 50 years ago in 1973. All right, stop funding those people and giving them more chances to fucking buy our Congress in our presidential elections and, put your money where your mouth is. Otherwise, you're just a bunch of fucking, you're not actually helping anything. You're voting for one corporate oligarch versus a different corporate oligarch. Okay, one might be worse, but at the end of the day, they're all fucking on the same team. Okay, they all have self-interest. There doesn't have to be a deep state for that. It's like George Carlin once said. They just have like interest. They're all in the same country clubs. They're all on the same board of directors. They just hang out together and they go, yeah, what would help all of us? And they never consider anybody else. They think what helps. It's the same thing. People live in echo chambers, right? Rich people live in their little rich echo chambers that go, well, the more, we do these things, the more it helps us, which means it has to help everybody else because we create the jobs, not realizing how hard it is to fucking afford living on the salaries that they're paying you, No, nothing's ever going to change. There's no hope, okay? And if it does change, it's just going to get replaced with a different type of oligarchy, okay? So, instead of just shouting at each other, why don't you just try to find commonality and just be a decent fucking human being? Anyways, that's it. I'm leaving it at that. People want me to get up here and be like, yeah, there's no hope because my team didn't. It's like, no, there was never hope, okay? 54% of this country can't read past a 6th grade level. Why do you think I have hope in them? Why do you think? Have you ever walked into an airport or a fucking mall, okay? And then you look and you see the average human being and how these fucking mouth breathers, okay, that took their entire family's savings instead of going on a budget vacation to a destination on a deal and going to Europe and getting some culture or something like that. Where do they go to get their culture? They go to fucking Epcot, okay? They go to Disney and spend fucking $7,000 on a bunch of mediocre food and a bunch of merchandise by a multinational corporation that has bought and sold the fucking state government of Florida to do their whims, okay? That has completely manipulated copyright law so they can fucking, if you die at their park because you signed an agreement on Disney Plus, they have no legal fucking liability, even though they poisoned your food because they gave you an allergy that you specifically said you had. No, that's what you got to spend your money on, guys. And don't get me wrong, it's gonna get worse because they're kind of trying to destroy the Department of Education. It's like if you think the American populace is dumb, wait until all federal funding towards education is destroyed. We're fucked, guys. We are so fucked. We've always been fucked, and that's why I don't vote. Look, I just see voting blue, no matter who, as simply prolonging the inevitable. Okay, that's it. It's gonna come. World War III is going to come because this country's so divided that everybody's just going to start fighting each other. We're going to be so occupied by infighting that all these other countries are going to take our market share of what we're doing with all of our proxy wars in other countries, which is we basically fund our entire economy by depleting other people's economies. Okay? That's the big secret. We are a war economy, okay? It's just like how the Roman Empire never ended, okay? It became a church, and the British Empire never ended. It became a bank, right? We are just going to become the greatest weapons manufacturer the world has ever seen. And, good for us, I guess. But we have no industry. We have not had industry since we sold out to the lobbyists and we industrialized. And then we outsourced all the jobs to Asia because it was cheaper for them to make shit that way. And now we're going to have a service economy where there's increasingly less protections for workers. And, fuck hope. That's really where I'm getting at, is just fuck hope. Why are we doing this? I don't know. Dude, speaking of, that's the funny thing about, like, the whole deep state thing is, like, everybody, because I talk about conspiracies all the time, but people think, like, that means that I think there's a secret cabal of Satanist pedophiles that are running the world. It's like, no, the Epstein stuff, which isn't really the Epstein stuff, it's the Leslie Wexner and Robert Maxwell stuff, okay? They both were Mossad assets. That's, like, not even, you can just look that up. That's not even, like, hidden shit. Leslie Wexner is the founder of the Victoria's Secret Fortune, who bankrolled everything Epstein did because Epstein was hired as his money manager even though he didn't have a college degree or any experience doing that. Epstein was just the puppet for him, gathering the intel for him and transferring it on. And Robert Maxwell was also part of the Mossad, which is how Ghislaine got involved. Okay, but none of that was ever, some secret deep state thing. It's just like, no, intelligence agencies have been doing this since the dawn of time. Okay, spies have honeypots who gather intel so they can use shit over people to get their way politically. All right, that's how intelligence agencies work. Okay. I recorded this episode, and then I was like, I'm going to re-record it so I can get into jokes and not talk about politics that much, okay? I got to say something, because I'm not going to be a pussy and be like, hey, let's just, forget all the shit I've been saying. No, I'm going to stay consistent in exactly who the fuck I am. But, you guys come here for comedy, I hope, okay? You come to a comedian's podcast to laugh and not just be told that there's no hope for the future, Granted, my favorite comedian is George Carlin. That's exactly what I got at his act. He wasn't really that funny at the end. But either way, I don't want to sound like some sanctimonious prick talking down to you, even though I am, And I should. I read. Not that I'm that intelligent, I read a little bit. I read the article. I don't read the book. I don't read the study. That's how I do it. I'll look at the graph, and then I'll double check the graph just to make sure it was sourced properly. But besides that, I'm not fucking... I am mostly getting my opinions from the internet. Granted, it's not a podcast or a YouTube documentary. Okay, it's a step up. But it's still... That's the funny thing about the Trump people being like, yeah, everybody Epstein was friends with is a Democrat. It's like, first of all, Epstein was a Republican. Second of all, I'm not defending the Democrats. Of course they're pieces of shit. They're all pieces of shit. Okay? None of these, it's like, how do you let the Republicans become the anti-war party? Even though, obviously, Trump is way more pro-Israel than Kamala. But, again, she didn't campaign on policy. So nobody fucking heard any level of comparison between, like, okay, here's what he's going to do, here's what I'm going to do. You just go, if you vote for him, you support rape and hate women. And it's like, yeah, but I think you're all bad people, okay? None of you are good people. You all want power. Anybody who wants power is a monster inherently. So I'm voting between two bad people. How do you affect my life? And we never heard any of that shit. Even though, anybody who knew anything, it's just, you're living in an echo chamber. That's all it is. If you just insult the entire electorate, of course you're going to piss them off and make them vote for somebody else. Okay? That's how it works. But the people who are like, yeah, Trump is he's anti-swamp. It's like, yeah, he, the guy who Jeffrey Epstein said was best friends with him for 10 years. The guy who as of right before his death, had intimate knowledge of the Trump White House, even though supposedly he was completely cut off in 2004, even though anybody who actually has read about this knows that he was cut off in 2003 because him and Trump fought over a real estate deal that Trump won. And there was a lot of mudslinging involved in trying to convince the real estate seller who to sell the estate to in Palm Beach. Okay, it was 2003, not 2004. And then Trump just used that as an excuse later on to be like, yeah, see, I distanced myself. It's like, no, you fell out because you had a big fight over a big house. Okay? You guys used to troll for pussy together. Okay? That guy knew that you would call up your friends' wives and then put them on speakerphone while you convinced them to talk about cheating. So then you could alienate him and her together so you could sleep with their wife because you found it fun to fuck your friend's wife. Okay? You're all pieces of shit. Okay? Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If you are a politician, you are a bad person for the most part, you know? And even then, once you get in office, if you want to get anything done, you have to shake hands with all the bad people. So then you just end up somewhat becoming one. Okay? That's why I don't choose sides, really, you know? It's like I chose a side on this one just because it was very abjectly like, hey, if you don't want the Supreme Court to be one-sided for the next 40 years, and I think you should want that regardless of what side is going to rule, you know. It's a really bad precedent to set for the world. Okay, if you don't want that, you should probably just vote for this one. And, you know, there's going to be bad things that happen with either person and president, but, you know, I think protecting human rights is a pretty big deal. But, again, we're moving on. We're 20 minutes. I said I wasn't going to do this. I literally am re-recording this because I didn't want to do this, but I did it anyways, okay? So I like the word cunt, guys. I don't know how to... No, yeah, I don't know. I do like the C word. Okay. I was talking to this girl recently, and she was like, I think the C word is as bad as the N word. And I was like, that's not true at all. Right? There is no, like, one was used for hundreds of years to denigrate an entire race of people and make them feel lesser as human beings than you, right? And to prove that they're subservient to you. And one is just like, bitches be tripping. Like, I don't think it's the same thing whatsoever, right? No? I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, like, no matter the group of people, the women within that group of people are the more oppressed people. But, like, that's not the same thing, you know? Right? You know, I think the reason I like the word cunt so much is, if you say it, you really have to mean it, you know? Like, there's no cuntbacks. You know, like, if you call somebody that, either you're just like a psycho who got mad that she didn't want to fuck you, or she's actually a cunt, and that's probably why it's so offensive, is because either way, you don't want to hear that. You know, either you don't want to be threatened with violence because somebody's a psycho, and you definitely don't want to realize that everybody thinks you're a terrible fucking person who happens to be a woman. That's the thing. When you say shit like that, people are like, you just hate women. It's like, no, I hate women. Okay, that's not the same thing at all. Okay, I think you deserve rights, and I think that nobody should touch you, and nothing should happen with your body against your consent. But also, if you're a terrible person, I think you should be told, you know? I think you could be a terrible person who is a woman, and that's okay. I mean, it's not okay. You're a cunt, but you know, it's my right to tell you. You know, it's like women really do treat the C word like the N word. And I don't mean cunt anymore. I mean crazy. That's the real C word. That's the real. You like that's more offensive, I think, than the word cunt. You know, because you can write off the word cunt. It's like you shouldn't have said that. If you're, you know. Ever notice, like, if you're talking to a girl, she's like, yeah, but I'm a girl. Women, I'm just like, you know, women are all crazy. But if I'm like, yeah, women are crazy, they're like, yeah, I'll show you fucking crazy, you piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like, well, you know, why can you say it, but I can't say it? And it's like, no, that's our word. We are taking our power back. I'm like, our word. I call you crazy now, retarded. All right. You know. There's a bit there. All right. I talked about that last week. See, you know, we're getting to the point where we're trying to run bits in the podcast. Okay. Let's see. Nobody, I tried Viagra recreationally, a little while ago. Okay, let me explain. Here's the thing. Girls I'm interested in are definitely going to listen to this. I don't want you to hear this story. Earmuffs, okay? God. All right, so I was at a bar a couple months ago, right? And, there's these fucking two, like, very attractive women who walk in, and they're clearly a couple, right? You know, and my buddy goes up to them and starts hitting on them, as if they're not clearly a couple, and they obviously were annoyed as shit as they should have been. So I just decided to join in and just start making fun of my friend with them, and then we all teamed up together and we're just having fun calling him an asshole, and so then I just made friends with them, and we were like talking for a while, and at one point one turns to the other and goes, "Should we have a threesome with him?" And I'm just standing there like, yeah, yes, we should absolutely, yeah, that's a good idea. Um, and then they were like, "Hey, like you're both, so we're actually bi, you're both of our type. You should take our number and we should make plans and we should have a threesome this week." And I was like, "This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me," right? So I do that, but I had a couple shows that week, and instead of having the threesome with the very attractive women, I was like, I can't do these days because I have to talk about my dick to strangers at Capo and Southie and not have a good time. That's what I did with my time. Also, I was like, look, I'm not going to last that long with one woman. I'm definitely not going to last long enough to please two women. So I was like, what's the smart move here? I'm going to order some Viagra on for hims. That way I have a super penis, and they think, and I'm God. And maybe this is how I end up in a Three's Company situation where I'm just dating two very attractive women, or at least I'm just their side dick, or their threesome dick whenever they want. That would have been sick, right? So I get the Viagra in, and they were like, okay, so we're because I couldn't do Tuesday or Wednesday, and they had plans Friday, Thursday, Friday. They were like, we might not be able to meet with you Saturday, but we probably can. But if not, we'll definitely do Sunday, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I got my Viagra. I got my recreational Viagra. I've got, I've got free time, and then I hit them up Saturday night, and they never respond. And I hit them up Sunday, they never respond. And that was it. That's how I blew my chance at a threesome. But then I was like, great. Well, now I just have a bunch of Viagra that cost a lot of money. What am I going to do with this? And, I know you're saying, hey, Josh, just use it. But here's the problem. If you meet somebody and you want to date them, you can't just be using Viagra occasionally, right? That's not a recipe for success. That's not how you get things done. Because they're just going to be confused why you have a super dick sometimes, and then most of the time you're just fine, all right? That's not a good plan, right? Unless you're just really trying to manipulate her with your penis. That's a way to do it, I guess, You're just withholding of cum. Except being withholding of cum is actually a good thing to them. It's a confusing one, right? But I was like, I can't actually have hopes that this is going to go anywhere. So then you only get to use it when you're hooking up with somebody they never think you're going to see again, right? But I made the mistake of I hooked up with somebody and then not thinking I'd see them again, and it just turned out that we ran in similar circles. So then I ended up kind of dating her for a while. So I had the greatest sex of my life the first time we hooked up because I used the Viagra, and then every other time since, she was just confused as shit as to why I couldn't come the first time we fucked and had to furiously jerk off in front of her for 5 minutes just to make myself finish. But every other time, I ended up having to be like, yeah, this never happens, even though it happens every time. It's what did we learn here is, I don't know. I probably shouldn't have told this story on a podcast, but, this would have been better to tell on my friend's podcast, when it's not going to be heard by people, that it could, I'm going to get some text about this one, but I think that's a funny story, Yeah, I learned my lesson on recreational Viagra, but if you want to take a spin, guys, I've got some, and I forgot to cancel the subscription, because they make it, you can only do one-time purchases, so I forgot to cancel the subscriptions. Now I got a bunch of it, and I got to work through that bad boy, so, that's there, that's out there, everybody knows that now. Oh, I meant to mention, guys, I don't know how you can have hope for the future when you look at the kids you grew up with who became teachers and police officers and go, yeah, we're sending our best and brightest to do these things, It's yeah, that kid that got arrested for spray painting USA in a mosque just got sent overseas to fight in Afghanistan. That's not going to end poorly for anybody, that girl who used to do fuck guys for cocaine in college. Yeah, she's wheeling in a TV into a room on a Tuesday afternoon because she's still hungover from Sunday because she decided to get brunch with her friends, and now she's telling everybody that she's a teacher. She she's leading your children. She's molding young minds. You know, That's my favorite thing is like most of the people I know who became teachers, you ask them what they like about their job. They don't go, I love, seeing the thirst for knowledge blossom in a child's mind. I love seeing their curiosity grow as their eyes sparkle when they're introduced to new information. They're just like, yeah, dude, I get at 2:30 and I have summers off, so it's pretty fucking tight. You know, most people aren't doing jobs for the right reasons. You ask somebody why they become a doctor, they don't go, yeah, I want to save lives. They go, it pays well. What, are you fucking insane? Why would I go through 12 years of school to fucking do anything unless it fucking paid me big? People who do things for the right reasons are, they're called artists, and they're all poor. Okay, that's how the world works, guys. That is how you end up recording a podcast in an apartment that you can't afford because you're getting paid under the table to watch somebody's dog for 3 days. Okay, that's how this works, guys. I feel like my clients are going to listen to this at some point when they figure out my last name. That's where we're fucked. That's where we're really fucked. Is just, I have no escape. Because you want to just put something on the internet and be like, yeah, this is going to go out to strangers. And it's like that. No, fuck. Why would a stranger listen to you? They don't know who you are. It's like, oh, shit. Yeah. Damn. I don't know. Halloween just passed, guys. I get annoyed when I see a jack-o'-lantern after Halloween. I know how to explain. I'm okay with a pumpkin. You can leave your pumpkins up till December 1st. I think pumpkins are okay. But like a carved pumpkin, it's like, hey, man, get out of you're still stuck in the past, man. Halloween was 3 days ago, all right? What the fuck's wrong with you? It's not jack-o'-lantern season. If you're like, yeah, but like my son worked really hard on that and he's proud and he wants to show it off. It's like, yeah, well, you know what you should do? You should take it and you should put it in your son's room and you should make him watch it slowly decay. That way he knows that everything that he tries in life is going to disappear at some point, and it's just going to leave him feeling empty and unfulfilled, and he's going to need to do something else and make a new thing, because, there's no lasting satisfaction. I swear I'm not this angry or pessimistic in real life whatsoever. I swear. You know what it is? I think when I look at people on like a big picture thing, it's easy to see the worst, but on an individual level, pretty much everybody is able to get along with you. We're really. I know I always sound like a hippie, but what else do you want me to do, guys? Okay, I'm only this angry because life is full of pain. Okay, I swear it's not because I'm actually this angry of a person. I don't hate people. Like I said, on an individual level, I don't hate people. On a group level, I hate all people. That's really how it works. Is that I don't have faith in any sort of institution or group, okay, or movement. It's like, great, we wanna we want to change whatever and turn it into this, and it's like, great, so it's just gonna become a different type of oligarchy, okay? It's gonna become a different type of bureaucracy. It's not actually gonna change things, okay? All of us are just sniffing our own farts. We're just shouting into a void, okay? Unfortunately, when I shout into the void, at least 40 people are going to listen to it, and I think that's insane, okay? I truly think that taking stock in my opinions is crazy, okay? What do I have to offer? What do I have to offer anybody? Great dog care. That's what and good jokes when I work them out. That's really it. That's, but when the jokes aren't worked out and I try them on a weekday show, whew, that can get tough. But, that's how it goes, guys. That is how it goes. Anything else notable happened to me this week? What did I do? Let's see. What was... Wednesday I did Capo. That went poorly. We all bombed. Corey Rodriguez leveled. That was predictable. You know, Halloween. Halloween. What did I do Halloween? Um, I stayed inside, right? Oh, I went and hung out at a show. And then I went to Dot Tavern down in Dorchester. Um, got to see my pals. And then I went home and watched a Dead and Company show from 19. Dude, that was the first time I ever went on tour, and the fact that that was 5 fucking years ago is making me feel so goddamn old. Like, I think I was talking about last week, where it's like when I listen to a show, I don't just listen. It's not just listening to the music. It's like, it's the soundtrack to your life as it's happening, because it's improvisational. So it's like it's all of our collective life trips, the energy of where we're all at being brought into that building, and the trade off of energy between the musicians and the audience creates something that is entirely unique to the moment, and it speaks for all of us in that moment. And it's like I'm re-listening to where I was at exactly in life at that moment when I listened to those songs, and how they affected me on a deeper level, and how the lessons I learned through doing drugs when I was home. And it just, what a long, strange trip it's been, man. Dude, it is so surreal to, like, listen back to all that shit and go, like, where was I at 5 years ago in my life, and where am I at now? Yeah, it's fucking insane. And then, let's see, Friday I went over to my buddy's house, and we just ate some mushrooms, and I listened to some Grateful Dead. Actually listened to some Phil Lesh and Friends. Watched an old show that I was at in 2022. Still maybe the best Phil show I've ever seen. That also just another thing that makes me go like, wow, man. He looked so with it and like physically good just 2 years ago, and now he's fucking, he just passed away. And just how intense that music was, and like, it's crazy how, like, how different Dead and Company is from Phil and Friends, where you're like, you just get totally different things out of the music. Like, Dead and Company is much more built around like how the songs affect you internally, in like, building the jams around the emotionality of the lyric, and building, all that sort of stuff. Whereas Phil and Friends is much more of like, let's just blow your fucking mind, and like the words are there. We're just gonna take this to space, and just like we're gonna bowl you over with psychedelia. It's gonna be very intense, and you're just gonna have to hang on for dear life, or really give in and learn how to let loose. But yeah, I mean, it's like literally just like going back to those exact moments of my life, and how they affected me. It's pretty cool. And then Saturday, speaking of journeying through the past, Saturday I went to two of my friends' combined birthday party at the bar. Got to see a bunch of people from high school. I don't really, get to see that often anymore, and it was just good catching up and seeing everybody, and seeing where we're all at and how much has changed. Because I haven't seen almost all of them in like a year, really. Yeah, I don't think I've seen Tim in a year. Maybe seen. I don't think I've seen George since Christmas. Yes, dude, it was really just I haven't seen some of them since like high school, if not longer. Or not, if not longer. I haven't seen a couple of them since high school. Like, some of them are engaged. Some of them are fucking, degenerates. And I'm just, trucking on, man. Yeah, dude, that was pretty cool. And then I went to a different party with some different friends after, and I felt bad because I showed up and I was like so sleep deprived from fucking just life. I mean, I'm just getting old, dude. It hits 1 in the morning, and I'm like, I need to fucking go to bed. Okay, I need to. I can't function anymore. All right, my life is falling apart, and it's literally just I'm getting old. But it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's like, and I say I was going to, and they were parties, but like I wasn't partying. I was fucking, I'm not even drinking right now, so I was just kind of showing up and just like talking to people. So it was like fine, but yeah, it's just a different fucking. It's weird, man. It's weird getting older. It's weird fucking. Because you think when you graduate high school, you're like, oh, we're going to all stay in touch and we're all going to be best friends forever. And then you just grow so far apart where you're like, we're still, when we reconnect, it feels like nothing's ever changed. But then if you stop and think about it, you're like, holy shit, we are all taking radically different directions in life. and it's kind of cool and kind of sad at the same time. But either way, it's pretty interesting. And I don't know, man. What else did I do this week? Where was I at Sunday? Right, it's Wednesday, right? Yeah, where was I at Sunday? Oh, I bombed my fucking face off over at Garrison House. Granted, everybody bombed, but goddamn, it was that not fun. I was just trying new shit, and none of it. I mean, actually, that's not true. The new shit was working. The old shit, like when you do your fucking A jokes, and you're like, all right, I got to get through these jokes to get to the new shit, just to see if like they're warmed up enough to do the new shit, and then you do the A stuff up top, thinking you're gonna get laughs, and it gets nothing, and you're like, oh, I should fucking jump off a cliff. That's really what I should do. I shouldn't be trying new stuff. I should be quitting comedy and apologizing to everybody in my life for leading them on this fucking rat chase for fucking 2 years. And then you do one more spot and you're like, actually, I am a god. That's really how it fucking works, dude. The up and downs, man. The up and downs. It's kind of, you just gotta learn how to ride the wave. That's all it is. You just gotta learn how to not get too high and not get too low, right? You can't buy your own bullshit. You can't crush and be like, yeah, this is how I am. It's like, yeah, in one day you're gonna eat your fucking dick. So, relax, buddy. And then, just, the normal bullshit this week. Did an open mic Monday. Did an open mic last night over at Margaritaville. They should call that the Jimmy Buffett Memorial Open Mic. I think that would be fun, Mike-a-Readaville. Let me think. Do I have any other jokes that I could make about that? Jeez. No, that doesn't rhyme. I was trying to find some sort of pun around cheeseburgers in paradise, but I don't think that was going to happen. Yeah, no, I got nothing. I got nothing there, all right? I got nothing about the Buff Man. Did you know that, dude, Jimmy Buffett died so hilariously rich from all of his business interest? I think that's so fucking interesting, the Margaritaville franchise is more valuable than his music career. Do you understand how fucking insane that is? He was able to become 100 millionaire, I think, capitalizing off of how Gen Xers have no regard for anybody but themselves and just want to get drunk and hoard their money and spend it on a bunch of garbage processed food, garbage fried food and margaritas and cheap beer, okay? On some level, you do kind of have to respect that. On another level, you have to hate that. And I think that's, I think that's interesting, At least Deadheads, like, it's a similar, they're heads, right? There's a community of everybody hanging out in the parking lot. But, like, Deadheads are like, we want to, we want to take drugs that open up our minds and fill us with empathy and curiosity and make new connections in the world. And Parrot Heads are like, we want to get fucked up and hang out on a beach. And it's like, yeah, considering how nihilistic I've become politically over the last fucking 10 years compared to where I used to be, I kind of get it. I do, right? On some level, you do kind of have to be like, yeah, dude, there is no hope. I mean, Gen X is actually who lost us. I say us as if I'm on the fucking Democrats team, but who lost, Gen X is literally the only age demographic that voted that one way, and that one way won the election. So maybe, just maybe, nihilistic self-interest is probably a bad thing, because at the very least, you're just going to end up with cirrhosis. And that's what this country is at this point. It's just, we are the cirrhosis, the country, all right? We live in a fucking shopping mall of a country, okay? There's an ad on everything. You can't even wear a uniform in a sports game anymore without them trying to put ads on it, okay? That's how far we've gotten. Literally everything is stickered with some sort of advertisement, okay? Every single thing in the world is bought and sold. At a certain point, they're going to offer you an option to advertise your child. You can monetize your child's growth. Every shirt you buy is an advertisement in some sense, They got you by the balls, guys, okay? They got you by the balls. Honestly, The more I do this podcast, the more I realize this was the only direction for me to ever go with a podcast. Is just to angrily complain about, okay, look, these are the fake conspiracies and these are the real conspiracies. I don't know if I necessarily have that many jokes, but you're goddamn right that I have some theories. You know? Look, guys, I could be writing on a fucking blog post about why we should shoot up a women's college, but I'm not, alright? I'm on here talking about why you should buy canned goods because the government's going to fail you and at some point the banks are going to collapse on themselves. Okay? That's what I'm here doing. Is to be like, yeah, you know, you're only going to be able to keep $150,000 of what you save when the banks eventually collapse, okay? When it actually comes. So what you should do is stop putting your money in the banks and hide it in the walls, man. I'm only slightly exaggerating. That's the worst part, is I am only slightly kidding. You know? Look, I do a lot of shows in Western Mass. I get it, okay? I get the doomsday idea. It's, you know, World War III is coming. It's inevitable. It's going to happen in the next couple of years. Why not? If I wasn't so obsessed with doing stand-up comedy, I'd be in Wyoming right now. I swear to God. If I didn't want to build my life around begging strangers for approval, all right, I would be sitting in the mountains. I'd get so bored. That's not true. I need access to a city. I need access to whatever. Unless I was just ordering, you know. I don't know. If I could order, if I was living around enough farmers where I could just get cheap fresh vegetables and I could order fucking good coffee online. What else would I need? I fucking, you know, the only thing I buy is records. Besides that, I literally don't. I have like 3 pairs of jeans. I got like 4. I got 4 pairs of jeans that I wear. Okay? Besides all my Grateful Dead concert tees and bootleg tees. What do I wear? The same fucking 7 shirts over and over, you know? Jesus, sorry guys. You know, I wear multiple pairs of socks a day because I work all day, and then I, you know, shower and stuff and wear a second pair of socks. But, you know, I got about 2.5 weeks worth of socks if I only wore 1 pair a day. Got 3 pairs of shoes I wear. You know, I guess 4. I got 4 pairs of shoes I wear. I got, you know, I could break down my entire life and take only the essentials and drive away in the event of a doomsday scenario right now, and I would probably be pretty okay, actually. You know, I got enough saved that I could figure it out. Okay, I guess this is just the direction. The hippie conspiracy guy is just gonna become more of a hippie conspiracy guy. That's where I'm just gonna lean in to all the thoughts that I hide on dates. You know, all the what's DMT like? Well, I'll tell you guys. All right, look, I'm just saying, you smoke DMT one time, and nothing in life matters anymore to you. Here's the thing: nothing matters, right? Nothing we do matters. We are just one thread in a fabric of reality and consciousness that is so beyond our perception that we will never be able to actually understand. All right, when you think about string theory and multidimensionality, you know, because I can say, okay, DMT taught me this, but if I just go, well, it's what it taught me is essentially string theory, then the science nerds can shut up because they're like, okay, well, that's technically, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, when you have an experience like that, you're like, you know, oh, I'm literally just one thread in an infinite fabric that is reality, and when I die, nothing will really change in the greater scheme of things. And then most people go, wow, that's so nihilistic and Nietzschean. How can you live like that? And it's like, no, because if everything is insignificant, then everything is significant because you create your own meaning in the moment. So everything, therefore, is incredibly significant because this is all we have is now. You know, I was joking last week about this being a Buddhist podcast, but this is literally becoming that. All right. You know, once you just accept that you're just one tiny piece in something so much larger, you see everything that goes on as just a big game and a big charade, and life is just play. And you want to do the right thing. You want to have hope. You want, underprivileged people to have access to health care and to have the same opportunities as you. But you also realize that you're living in the greatest time in human history with the greatest human living standards ever, right? So if you're complaining about this now, just know that if you were born 2,000 years ago, if you were born 600 years ago, you know, if you were born 900 years ago, you would have been born a fucking serf, I think. I don't remember when that ended, okay? And I'm not looking it up because I'm just fucking tired of talking because I did it for 48 minutes and then I stopped myself and then I re-recorded it. So I've been talking to myself for 2 hours and, you know, at a certain point you just start getting sick of your own voice. I mean, I hate listening to my own voice in general, but at a certain point you're just like, why do I think somebody should listen to this? Okay? I am getting very good at not thinking before I speak when I do this, which is really how you have to do it, okay? People are going to listen back to this, and they're either going to... I feel like people... If I just say, like a quick point, and I go, yeah, but this thing, people go, that's crazy. But if you actually hear me explain things, I don't think it's actually that outlandish, you know? I think I'm somewhat rational of a human being, you know? I just like trying to figure shit out. I don't know. Alright. Guys, it's been 51 minutes, and I should probably go hang at a show or do something, just so I don't lose my goddamn mind sitting around all the time. Alright? So I'm gonna probably do that. Dude, why is this getting so much attention? I'm gonna probably do that. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna go run to Capo to hang out and maybe buy some too expensive food because it's all you can eat pasta night and that's fucking sick. And you know, why not? Alright, live a little. Life's short. Alright, I'm gonna get the fuck off of this podcast. Hope everybody has a good week. Hope everybody has a good next 40 years of the decline of the American Empire. I hope everybody has a good World War III. Okay? You know, I hope everybody just has a good time. Alright, I hope we all have fun. I hope we all find love and, you know, all that sort of stuff, right? Life's too short to sit around being angry and calling everybody your enemy. Alright, at the end of the day, we're all in this together. And I'm just realizing now that I haven't been directly talking into the mic for probably 40 minutes, if not 50. So this podcast might just sound terrible because I wasn't talking into it properly. Either way, I'm sure the neighbors that live in this building are going to be concerned because they think I'm just talking to myself. And they're right, but I'm talking to a podcast. Okay? That's how this works. Alright. Yeah, everybody have a good time. You know, and listen back next week. New episode every Wednesday. Where am I at this week? Saturday. If you want to come see me. Well, tonight my show got canceled. Tomorrow, so probably today if you're listening, tomorrow on Thursday, I'll be at Laugh Shack up in at Lincoln's up in Portland, Maine. That's my favorite fucking show in New England, so I'm very excited for that, as always. Democracy Brewing Comedy Party, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Might be dropping in somewhere Sunday, but I don't want to announce that if it's a guest spot. Cafe Dello Sport in the North End on Monday night. Forget what time that is. Probably earlier. I might go see the Last Waltz tribute show on Tuesday. We'll see. You know, I got a show next Thursday in New Hampshire, and then I'm taking the weekend off to go to some concerts next weekend. So, you know, yeah, because, you know, when I have a good time. Also, I didn't get booked. That's really the thing. If I got booked, I would have canceled going to either of the concerts. Although maybe there's not the Saturday, because J-Mo from the Allman Brothers is playing his first show since 2021, and he's the last living member of the Allman Brothers, so I'd like to get to say I saw an original member of the Allmans, you know, before they all died. I think that would be swell. Yeah, alright, I really got to get the fuck off of this fucking podcast, but yeah, everybody have a good week, and stop being cunts to each other. Alright, peace.